Hey folks, Lig here with another epic update. Sorry for missing the last couple weeks. I was either traveling when I would normally record this, or there wasn't anything to talk about really, or combination thereof. There are a few things to talk about like this week, so let's get started. First is there was another set of dev interviews, part of the press tour, I think, where they talked a little bit about what's coming in Warlords of Draenor. Pretty much what they talked about was some of the options that they discussed internally, maybe even tried internally, rather than giving us boosted tune straight to 90. Some of them were like you just gain XP faster, that sort of thing, and they said it just didn't feel right. And it kind of makes sense. Personally, I think if I'm leveling with heirlooms plus the guild perk and all the other stuff that you can do to get faster XP, it feels kind of awkward. So if they even accelerated more, I think it would be even more awkward. And I think the boosted 90s are probably the right choice. I plan on using at least my free one and probably one or two more, just because I might want to do a server and faction change, and it's only $5 more to get a whole brand new tune. And if I decide to go back, I can just abandon this guy. I don't have to worry about paying again another $55 to go back. So that's my logic on it. If $60 is too much for you, so be it. I'm not going to use it willy-nilly. I can guarantee you that, though. One of the other things they talked about was the player character model updates. We talked about that on the show and whether or not we thought that that was maybe a cause of some delay and that sort of thing. And they had said in the past, and they reiterated here, that they may not have them all done by the time Warlords goes live. And I'm personally okay with this. I would like to see them all done, of course, but I would rather have the game than the models. So I think more people would probably agree with me. They might not say that now, but if they found out that we were waiting on the entire game because the female Draenei weren't finished, I think there'd be a lot of outrage, and they can always add them in a patch. So I think that's a good thing. Moving on to Hearthstone. On the 3rd of April, there is a a press event that shows the final iPad version of Hearthstone. There was one not too long ago in China that showed the same thing. There's some screenshots out there on the internet. If you go looking, you shouldn't have to try it that hard to find them. There was some rumblings that maybe next week there would be a launch of the iPad version. I doubt that it's going to launch next week. If they're showing press on the 3rd, I would say there's going to be a 5 to 7 day embargo on the press event. Maybe not, since they've already done it in China and a lot of that information's already come out. We'll see, but regardless, it's not going to come out on the 1st if they're doing a press thing on the 3rd. Keep in mind on the 1st, which is Tuesday, it's the 1st. It's April Fool's. So keep that in mind. We're not going to be doing anything, but I'm kind of curious if Blizzard's going to do anything. They didn't do anything last year, and I'm kind of hoping they do this year. So, well, I guess they did do the StarCraft mod for that one day, which I think was awesome. Anyway, moving on to some more Warcraft news. Crypto put in the forums that there is another WoW source on the way, and if you're not familiar with WoW source, this is where Morgan Webb sits down with some of the devs and talks about Warlords, mainly Warlords. They are going to be talking to Chris Zierhout, I guess is how you pronounce his name, Ian Hazakostas, which is weird that I can pronounce that one and not the other one, and Brian Holinka. Mainly they're going to be talking about class changes and PvP changes in Warlords, so if you want a question answered, go out there to that forum post and add your question in there. I'm pretty sure the cap has been removed from it. They usually don't put a cap on those threads. Anyway, that is it for this week, guys. Until next time, later, y'all.